resources to build more SCVs, but for some reason he is not doing so.
I just scouted out this bottom right expansion or bottom left expansion by Protein, so I really wanted to come in and get rid of his SCVs quick because once he gets those Hellions, I'm basically done for the game as I was planning to mass Zerglings into Mutos in this game, but fortunately we do find it, and Protein's poor Reaper micro, he actually lost a lot of Reapers to Zealots, which is kind of embarrassing. But yeah, he is forced to actually lift off all his buildings again, I think. Actually, he does. He just hasn't there. There we go. Orbital command lift off, and now all his buildings lifting off just because he couldn't continue mining there anymore. And right now, there's a huge number of banelings being morphed in by Hooblagoo. Now, one mistake I see him doing is he actually has 1,400 stored minerals right now, so that is a mistake, first of all.
Yeah, that
But
is
also,
huge.
he is only working on one hatchery Zergling, and that is a mistake because you just can't get enough production, and that's why he has such a huge number of minerals, because he doesn't have the larvae to produce more than just a specific set of Zerglings. And if you look at my base, I'm actually doing the exact same strategy, but I do have 3 hatch. I also have an expo going, and we do spot this large number of banelings slowly heading towards my base.
Yeah, there are a decent amount of banelings, and as you saw just a second ago, they took out all the Zealots and Zerglings that you had camping outside of his base. Actually, I'm sorry, no, it looks like there are 3 more that are still camping there from BrokenRythm, so he still cannot get out to expand, which it looks like he did just send a drone out rather, to try to get an expansion, but of course that drone was cut down by those Zealots that were waiting at the ramp, and it looks like the last of the banelings were taken down on the way into your base. He did not manage to get any of your workers once again because the Queen and the Zerglings that you had defending your base managed to take them all out before they were able to get into a critical strike position. But looking back at the base of Hooblagoo, he is still trying to get outside of his base. BrokenRythm has these Zealots spread out perfectly across this ramp and is able to actually get some damage on anything that tries to come up the ramp. One Reaper coming in though, trying to pull your Zealots away from there so that he can actually get in there and get us around on those Zealots possibly. It looks like he's got more banelings coming in, possibly going to try to bust those banelings. And at this point, obviously with BrokenRythm not having any ability to continue production, he is basically working with the units that he has at hand, which unfortunately for him is only a few more Zealots at this point, and it looks like he is about to lose the last of his Zealots. He's got 1 left on the map right now, it looks like, and he is just trying to micro that thing around like crazy to give him something to do in this game. Meanwhile, Protein, since he lost his expansion once again, has moved his base back up to his initial starting position, and he does have some Hellions out, but there is, fortunately for you, enough Zerglings that you can get a surround on those Hellions and really do some damage. If you can get a surround on the Hellions, that very much negates the splash damage that they do because they obviously have a direct line of sight attack, so they can only attack in one direction. So that splash damage is only effective if you can get a group of Zerglings that are, you know, relatively clumped together. If they have a surround on you, it's not nearly as effective.
Yeah, at this point, I actually wisened up and decided to put at least 1 Zergling at each of the expansions not guarded by their rocks at this point. So finally figured that out. But anyway, if we look at Hooblagoo's base, he almost has a Spire done, but I already have my Spire done. And right now I'm saving up a little bit of minerals and gas to actually get some mass Mutalisks. I also have a second expansion with a Spinecrawler, and looks like right now that he will be mined out soon. BrokenRythm actually doing a little bit of a cheeky maneuver, bringing that 1 Zealot to the back of his base, slowly attacking that Spinecrawler. And one thing to know about it, in Hooblagoo is that he is sending out naked banelings, and naked banelings are not very efficient because you can just send out Zerglings in packs of 3, and those Zerglings will be able to pick off banelings slowly but surely. And right when they reach your base, as you can see in my base right now, could you go there?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I put 2 forward spine crawlers, and these spine crawlers are not clumped together, so they will not take any splash damage from banelings, and so they will be able to pick off banelings if they do decide to come to my base. I'm also putting down an Evo chamber because I saw that he had spire, he also had a spire. Right now, I'm moving out with quite a large number of Mutalisks right now, and looks like he has his own Mutalisk in my base. And his Mutalisks were actually attacking my queen, but due to some BrokenRythm micro, I was able to save my queen because my macro was actually so bad this game that my queens actually had energy to transfuse. Right now, I'm moving my Mutalisk to his base, and actually I'm just going to pause, and I think I'm going to take down this barracks right here. Because I still realize that he is on one base. I actually did scout out that he is trying to expand, so I know that I'm just gonna play the attrition game, which is basically just starve him out of minerals.
Yeah, at this point, he has not been able to expand still. As you mentioned, he is trying to get up an expansion right now, but he has been running off of one base this entire time, And of course, one base Muta is very difficult to sustain for any amount of time. And although your second base is not yet fully saturated on the mineral line, there is more drones being transferred right now. And of course, having that second base in the first place was definitely a huge help in giving you a slight advantage there. But it looks like your Muta's moving in at this point, taking out some of those queens, or at least trying to. Unfortunately, not able to actually take any of them down. He does have a few Mutalisks defending, but opting to step out and try to do a little bit more damage on some of those outer units and buildings. And then, once again, of course, going for the expansion that he is trying to get up and running, which he has now had to cancel.
If you notice, Hooblagoo, he actually has 2,200 Sora minerals, and this is purely because of the fact that he cannot expand, and he is limited by the gas production. He knows that Zerglings and Banelings won't work against me anymore. I have too many Spine Crawlers in my base. I have my own Zerglings too, and I actually know how to deal adequately with Zerglings. Mutalisks right now picking off at least I picked off, I think, 6 Overlords in the where Red's base used to be, and it looks like at this point that he is all out of options. He is only mining off of 1 mineral patch right now that has 340 minerals, and he does give the GG.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like after you were able to basically take Protein out of this game, it was pretty much boiled down to a 1v1 with the exception of a few units from BrokenRythm, which were able to provide support in trapping Hooblagoo into his base. But definitely a great game to watch, a lot of back and forth action, and of course a lot of these 2v2 games start off with some heavy pressure that usually force a lot of these back and forth situations. Anyways, was there any closing notes you wanted to add on to this game before we wrap this up?
If you're going to play one base Zerg, build a second hatchery in your base, and always scout your base if you're playing against a Protoss. That's my suggestion. And also, these guys are both 1v1 Diamond, in case you were wondering. They're definitely not bad players. It was just that Zerg. I know a lot of 1v1 Diamond players, they usually always fast expand, or at least expand sometime in the game as Zerg. They're just not used to playing one base Zerg. And so I believe we forced them into an uncomfortable situation playing a 1v1 against someone who did expand. And so I just nursed the advantage and won the game.
Yeah, absolutely. This game is going to be up on my channel, SC Battlegrounds, but of course, Aleesa casting this game along with me. Definitely check his channel out. I've got a link to it on my, if you go to my channel page, but also his account is youtube.com/Aleesa with 2 E's SC. So that's ALEESASC, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's
okay,
right. That's
great. So yeah, definitely check his channel out. He's got a handful of subscribers now, definitely trying to get more, so definitely spread the word on that, and we will see you guys next time. GG.